In this video on EMP's history analysis tool, I will show you how to average data, how to calculate the difference between data sets, and how to save plots as a PDF. I'll begin by showing you how to average data. I'll first need to have the history files loaded into the history analysis tool that I'd like to average. I can have at least two or many more files averaged at once. And loading the history file into the tool is covered under the Analyze History File video. Currently, I have system controller data loaded in only from two different history files on the same truck. And I'll show you that we can actually deselect all of the data from one data set by selecting this top box, or we can remove data from a single parameter by selecting the box next to the parameter name. To average the data, I'll select Tools, Average, and it gives me the option to average all or partial. All will average data from all of the parameters available, regardless of what is selected, whereas partial would only export or average the data from the parameters of my choosing that is selected. This is the same scenario for differentiating data and exporting data as a PDF. I'll go ahead and select all, and I must change the file name to remove the asterisk. I'll select save, and what it's actually doing here is saving a new history file that can be analyzed later. And you can see a third column with the averaged data has now been added. Next, I'll show you how to calculate the difference between two data sets. Calculating the difference between two sets of data from the same vehicle can be helpful in diagnosing issues that have occurred or are occurring between the 2 points in time. In red, I have my new data file, and in blue, I have my old data file from the same vehicle. And I'll select Tools, Difference. It asks me to select the newer file and then the older file. And I'll go ahead and click OK. And again, this will save a new history analysis file to be reviewed later. Again, I must remove the asterisk and rename the file. I'll click Save. And I typically get this warning that some values have came up as a negative, and this is likely due to the newer file having a higher number of counts under some parameter compared to the old history file. If my differentiated plots come up as a positive value, I know that it was calculated correctly. So I'll click OK, and I'll run through some of the plots. My new differentiated set of data shows up in pink, and it looks like all of the plots have a positive value, so I know it was calculated correctly. Now I'll show you how to save these plots as a PDF. I'll select Export to PDF, Full, and I'll rename the file name. You can see it's already saving as a PDF, and it may take a minute to generate the report. I'll navigate to the location where I saved the report, and you'll see here all available plots similar to what I had in the history analysis tool, but nicely exported page by page in this PDF. And lastly, I'll mention that we can export history data as a .csv file. I'll click on Export to CSV, and this table appears. We can actually select individual parameter names and move over available parameter names to this new selected field box. And when we click export, it'll only save those parameters that I selected. If you have any questions, please contact service at emp-corp.com.